accounts payable app.
Mm-hmm.
These are the requirements we need in the app. The first requirement is we need something to manage vendor bills, balances, activities, and print checks via app by using that app
Okay.
to make payments to the vendors,
Okay.
and uh, record vendor activities uh, like their invoices and paid, unpaid invoices, uh, and monitor balance also, whatever the company owes them.
Right.
Um, Record and track, analyze and pay bills from suppliers. Um, Reports related to bills and payments which can be submitted to the accountant, uh, and this app should enable to print single or multiple checks. Like if we have to make single payment, we'll be able to do that. Or if you need to print multiple checks, it should allow that also.
Right.
Um, uh, Track and schedule payments to take advantage of early payment discounts. If the payment due date is 30th of the month, there should be something which keep track of the dates and giving that option so that you can pay on time to
Okay.
get the discount.
Right.
And reconcile bank accounts and reports.
All right.
Mhm.
So this is basically, an app which will help a company or any business manage their complete finance side, right? And starting from their bills, payables, receivables. Are you talking about receivables also somewhere?
No, just
It's
the payables.
payables thing. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, so there's more on the payments that need to be done and all that, right?
Yes.
To the vendors and the suppliers. All right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is more on the payment part of it, right? So not the pending payments that we need to receive. That part is not involved there,
No.
right?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fine. So let us look into the data model. You want to explain anything else? You want to talk about anything else on this page?
No, that's
That's
fine.
fine. Anyone who wants to add on certain thing or have a question or doubt? I want everyone to understand this app. Everyone should understand each app. Okay. So this more or less we understand, right? So there is a business. If they have vendors, they have suppliers. They need to make certain payments to them, right? So this app would basically help them manage all the payments, right? So whatever bills they receive or the invoices that they receive, managing those and making the payments. At this point, tracking and scheduling payment to take advantage of early payment discounts, so that they can take the advantage of any discounts that they might receive due to early payment. Or one additional thing to this can be to avoid any late payment charges, right? That sort of things in case that is there, right? So that is overall what this app is all about. Anyone who wants to add on something or quickly ask something?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you say the data model, this is just a high level write-up of what the app is going to have. It's not, we're not going into detail regarding what the tables are going to, what the objects are going to be
Yeah.
and the details of that. So we're just trying, it's just a really, really high level mock-up. We need this, and this. But we'll go more into detail into other things, or is this what you want for the write-up? For
No,
example,
this is step 1, and then step 2 is here in sheet 2. So this is
Oh,
also what
okay,
you
sorry.
fine.
Sorry, sorry, okay.
So first
Okay,
of all, you will design this thing, and then we'll go to the next step. All right.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So Sharon, now would you like to explain your data model?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
in this app, we require different tabs. Uh, I mean, you can say objects,
All right.
transports,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so that we'll be able to process, um, invoices and do whatever we can in this app. So
Mm-hmm.
first tab we need for vendors. So
It's
all the
not tab,
external
it is object.
object,
Tab
right?
is different from an object, right? Tab is a user interface component, whereas object is a database component in the backend
Okay,
device, right? So these are all
okay,
objects, right?
objects. Okay. So we need objects. So first one is vendors, where all the vendor information we need: vendor ID, name, address, and account. Uh, and maybe we can add few more fields as required.
पिंकी सिंह थोड़ा घट बात करो जोर जोर ला
the 1,200 questions notes, and there are sometimes you just leave off one of the options, and then the whole answer goes wrong.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi all.
Jeet is back.
Yeah, sorry, the connection got dropped for a minute. All right.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, Sharon. Sorry, you were explaining this thing, the vendors object.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand these three things. I mean, I think most of you will understand. So we are talking about different objects here, right? Vendors being the first object, and ID, name and address is pretty fine. What is this accounts thing? What are we talking about here? What will be the data type?
Account number, like bank account.
Oh, okay. The account information of the vendor?
Account information, yeah.
Okay. So bank details.
Should we put a phone number in there too as well? So the contact details?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
should. So we will have our if you look into this, there's something very useful actually. I mean, it's not just for the vendors. This kind of an application can be very useful for companies which need to pay to their employees if they have, contract-based employees, and then if they have, small contracts to be given.
Yeah, it could be a payroll app. You're right.
Payroll, yeah, similar on these lines. It can go into a payroll app as well.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm sorry I gotta step away for like a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. All right. So bank account details and other details.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Shahid is not looking at this app to integrate with any the app like the software, the QuickBooks or Quicken, nothing like that, right? This is a standalone thing for
Application,
this specific company.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So okay, so I understand this vendor app properly. Okay, so you can actually extend, you can increase these fields, as I think someone was suggesting that we can have a phone number or we can have the
Yeah.
email ID of the vendor. So those fields can be there. So more information on the vendor thing. Vendor information can be there. It depends on how much information you collect from your vendor.
Yeah.
So like some cases you might need to have their tax ID or something like that also, because you need to deduct some tax while making the payments to them, and then you have to put the tax ID and all. So that part is fine. So this is one object. I wanted to understand, what is this object? Is this an object or what is this? Bills.
Yes. Yes.
So what kind of fields these are? New, paid and unpaid. This should
Like user will enter the bills into bills object, and it should be categorized like if there are new bills and paid and unpaid bills.
So these should be the fields, or the field should be status of the bill, and in that there should be a pick list: new, paid, unpaid.
Yeah, there should be a pick list.
There should be one pick list, and there should be other fields here, right?
Yes.
Everyone agrees to this? Do we understand this part?
I was thinking, rather than bills, would that be like invoices?
Should be, ideally it should be invoices or bills, whatever.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Make it invoices, make it new invoices, make it paid invoices, make it pending invoices, or just make one drop down and for each of those, right? Would that be more?
So this will be one object, and there will be a drop down or a pick list, what we call in Salesforce. Call it bills or invoices, and this should be, let's say you have a date of the bill, and you have an amount on the bill, and then maybe you have a status.
And then status, right? Status.
Yeah, status.
This should be a pick list which talks about whether it's new, paid, unpaid, or whatever other status you can think of. Something which went bad, never got, something you don't have to pay or something, whatever, discounts and all that. All right. So this part is fine. So we have one object So this bill also needs to have a lookup. You think it should be connected to a vendor? Should have a relationship? Otherwise, how will you understand
No.
which vendor?
Yeah, we can even put the vendor name and look up that, no?
Now, if you don't, Sharon, if you don't put that vendor name here, then how will you figure out which bill came from which vendor? And who do
Yeah,
you
we
need
have to
pay?
have. Yeah, we have to have vendor name.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. That's true.
Okay, sorry. So we have the vendor here, and this is a lookup. Fine.
Look up.
All right. So bills are there, vendors are there. Fine. What is the next thing?
Payments?
Okay. So payment is every time you're making a payment, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this payment thing is again, we have fields. Now see, what you have done is fine. What I feel that you can improve on is, okay, what I feel that you can work on and improve on is this thing. The relationships. See, relationships are
Yeah.
missing. So you have not included any of the relationship. Nothing is connected. But connectivity is required, right? When you make a payment, then you have to relate it to some bill or some vendor. That this payment has been made to which vendor.
Yes.
We understand that part, right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
yes.
now we have two options. This is very important for everyone. Look into this. Now, we have vendors and then we have bills, okay? And bills or invoices, whatever we could call it, that is a child of vendor, right? This is vendor. Bill or invoices are child of vendor, right? Now payment also need to be connected to the vendor. All right. So we have two options. Either I connect directly to, either I connect this directly to the vendor, or I connect it directly to the invoice. So in that ways, it will be connected to
invoice?
invoice, and then it gets connected to the vendor through that. Got it?
Yeah, it should be connected to the invoice.
Yeah, if you connect it to the invoice, then it gets connected,
To the
via
vendor.
invoice to the vendor also, right? So that will
That's
be a
right.
better option.
That's right.
So now this should be a lookup with invoice. And let me just put color coding here for my understanding. This one, and I put same color here. Okay. Now this payment becomes a little better. Now other thing that I want you guys to do here is, I want not you guys, I specifically Sharon, the other thing that I want you to do is create a roll-up summary here
Okay.
for the vendor. I mean, do you think it will be helpful if we can have a total of how much is pending from a vendor, how much we need to pay to that vendor, and how much we have already paid? We want to include that thing. That can be a roll-up summary. What is the pay?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
We can even, Jeet, we can even create a collection part. Collection, there would be a separate object collection. I think this would come in collection part. What do you say? Collection, no?
Collection.
The pending payments.
The pending payments, these are all payables. So for me, there is nothing which I need to collect. This business is managing their payments only, so they are not collecting it.
Okay, then got it.
Sure.
Got it. Okay.
I have
I
an
mean,
idea.
why-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, why I was talking about that roll-up summary field, just to ensure that certain things can be looked in from here. That to make sure that we are not paying the same vendor twice for this, for the same bill. If he owes, how much do we owe to the vendor? So I owe him, let's say $10,000, and I should not end up paying him $15,000. So then we can put a validation here in the payment that okay, any point of time, the amount of the payment cannot be greater than the amount that I owe to the vendor. It has to be less than that or equal to that. So
Okay.
a kind of validation can work there. You guys think
Okay.
that makes sense? Then you can include that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a question. Should we also add something of, sometimes they make partial payments and you have a balance of how much you still owe? Because sometimes you'll have the thing where you make a partial payment every month for something. Would that make sense?
That definitely makes sense. How do we want to include that part? Shall we include one field in the payments and we call it a payment, a pick list, partial payment or full payment? If it is full payment, then it should be equal to the amount. Let's say I'm making a full
Call it
payment.
a payment plan. You could call it a payment plan.
Yes, right. So if it's a full payment, then it has to be, the payment amount has to be equal to the bill amount, the connected invoice. That amount and this amount has to be same. Then again you will put a validation. If it's a full payment, then it has to be equal to that amount.
So if it's a payment plan, do we have to create another object keeping track of how much is remaining on the balance of the payment? Or how do we do that? For example, let's say we owe $10,000 and we paid 500 of it. Where do we put the remaining balance? Would that go into invoices, vendors, payments, or a different thing where it says remaining balance that's tied into one of these objects?
Yeah, so for balance thing only, while I was talking on doing a roll-up summary on the vendor, I was thinking that the balance thing should come under vendors. How much is the balance that I owe to a vendor?
That makes sense.
Sharon, your app, you please suggest us. You are more good, you are better in finance.
What do you think about our ideas?
But guys, do you think this is actually, getting into the financial aspect of it is one part that is more a functional thing. But do you think this is actually helping us understand the database concept very well, the data model thing? Right?
Yeah.
Giving us so many ideas, and this is how it works actually. Once you start designing applications, and the moment you go through these things, you do these things, you will have a lot of confidence while you're talking about this app in the interview, because you know that you have done the data model, you have thought of each aspect of it, you can answer any question, right? So that is how it's going to be. All right. So I think the balance amount we can try and put here for the vendor, and this should be sum of all unpaid. No. Okay, it cannot be done. I think the balance thing we have to maintain in the invoice only, because why we are talking about this, because we are talking about a possibility. Can we have all the microphones on mute, please? Microphones on mute, please, everyone. Yeah, thank you. So while you people are speaking, please unmute and then try to mute. Okay, why I'm talking about that part is we have to have a system. Either we have a system that the status, the bill will be completely paid always, or we include a system where we allow that process of making partial payments. If there is a partial payment, then the status should be unpaid or partially paid.
Jeet, I have a question. If we are going to put the pick list field, a partial payment thing in payments object, then why can't we just create a field there which talks about the balance? Can we or can we not?
Yeah, that is what I also think is correct, and that is the reason why I have created one balance field.
So how this works is if you choose partial payment on the pick list, then it'll bounce to balance and say what the remaining balance is. If you say
Right.
full payment, the balance will be zero. Got it.
Yeah, so it will have validation rule.
Okay.
This will have a validation rule, and so I mean, Sharon, what you can do is because we are discussing a lot of things here and we are coming up with some conclusions, so you can listen to this video again and write down those validations which we are talking about. Like balance can have a validation that if it's unpaid, then the balance should be equal to the amount of the bill. If it is paid, then balance has to be zero. So there cannot be any balance, and if it is partially paid, then this has to have, this should be the total amount minus the payment which has been made.
Okay.
So that way, those things we will have to put there, right? I mean, even if you don't design all those validation rules, the fact that you are thinking of these validation rules will, help you understand how your application. So we are, one, we are talking about the data model. Secondly, we are talking about the functionalities of our app, right?
Yes. Okay.
So,
While you're doing that validation rule, I don't know if Sharon agrees. There could be a refund in there too, which can be added here because you're already trying to at the end balance the balance sheet, right?
refund.
So there is refund and you have
I mean, a credit, like for example,
exactly, yeah.
it's
If
like
the
a credit,
product
not a refund.
works, yeah. So you got, you credited somebody or somebody you, that can throw your balance sheet up at the end of the quarter, or I don't know when you do the balance sheet. So that could be added right there at that particular validation area. So there is always the possibility of a refund or a credit.
Okay.
I
Are you
don't
saying,
know.
for example, are you saying, for example, if like we made a payment to to an invoice, and then we ended up
the
returning?
product did not work out. Yeah, the product didn't
Okay.
work out, and we decided that, you know what, I'm sorry, you need to refund all my money because the product didn't work.
Yeah, how would we handle that? That's interesting.
And that situation would occur, and then that could throw your balance sheet up.
If I try and include one more thing here, cancel, will that be helpful? If I cancel the
Yeah, I
invoice?
think so. Anything that would,
I think
anything that, you know what, that the money is credited back, and now we are not. Otherwise, we could show that we are over or under or something like that. So what I'm saying is, if the product was canceled and the money was returned, something along that line.
So,
Maybe you're right, Ken.
yeah, so
Feel free.
easy solution that I can see, I mean, I think, we can think a little more on this, but the easy solution that I can think of, a quick thing, is if we can have a status of an invoice as cancelled or nullified invoice. So in case, I get a refund, what I would need to do is I just need to go and change the status of this to cancel. And then that should adjust the things. What do you think? That's correct, right?
Well, there's another level to it. Let's say it's not canceled. Let's say they gives back a partial refund, because let's say we used some services for, it was a 30-day service, we used only 10 days of it, so they retroacted whatever we used and give us a partial payment back. So how would that work? Does that make sense?
And do we feel do we think that that is something which should be handled in the receivables? Because this app is more on the payables thing. This is for accounts payables, AP. So do we feel that there's something that should be handled in the receivables app in case we have to have receivables? Because that is something that I'm getting back, so that being credited. So this is more we are talking about the debit side. So is that okay with?
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
I mean, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to define the boundaries or restrain the scope of this app to the accounts payable, because that is what we started with. Now, if we start considering the receivables, because that is a refund that I get is receivable. So if we start
Right.
including that here, the scope of this project might increase a little, which I am pretty sure that Sharon would be interested, but that can be done in the second phase. What do you feel, Sharon? You would want to take the receivables in the second phase, maybe once you're done with this accounts payable, right? And that is where you can keep a track of this part, in case there are any refunds and all. Sharon, I think you're on mute. So we are seeking advice
Yes,
from you.
you are right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So every time I say that, okay, we can skip something, I'm definitely right. Okay, so that's good. So we have this bills and invoices, we have vendors, we have payments. I'm very happy that we are coming up with good thoughts and ideas. So this part is done. All right, that's fine. Now, what is this batch payout? What is this bank account? Bank account details.
It's the summary.
Reports and dashboard thing. We will just not get into that part. But what is this batch payout and bank accounts? This is your bank's details or your vendor's bank details, because I think vendor bank details have been tracked here.
Yeah, this in bank accounts is the company's bank details and the different business account names and numbers.
Okay, so we are talking about if I am running a business, you're saying that I should have an object to track my bank details or bank account information.
Uh,
Should we have that? How much important do you think that would be for to create an object for tracking? And how many accounts can I have as a company? Maybe one or two.
Maybe it should be named
Many
something
companies
else.
have
I'm sorry,
two,
go ahead.
three accounts, business accounts, because they pay to different vendors through different accounts.
All right.
I would think you need something to track how much money you have in your account, but would it be called bank accounts, or would it be called, I don't know, account or something? Something to keep track of how much money you have while you're paying money out, correct?
That's I think that's in reconciliation.
Okay, okay.
So far, till the payments part, it's fine. Now, how are we dealing with this part? Reconciliation as a vendor account. Where does this thing come from? What is the data type here?
Vendor accounts, that will be number. Like total whatever we have paid them so far, and
Total how much you have paid to a vendor, that you think that should be a part of this vendor object?
Well, that's already in balance amount, right? The number should be done there. When you pay it, the balance will change on the vendor's account, correct? Or the vendor's object?
Balance account and how much I have paid, that can also be tracked here, right?
Yeah, so there should be like a remaining balance. Yeah.
That should be a roll up of all the payments that we have made to a vendor. That should give me this thing. Check run. So what does this check run thing do? Single, multiple.
when we cut a check to pay, you can cut a single check, single payment, or like multiple checks.
Yeah. So single and multiple should be fields, or there should be other fields for this?
It could be pick list.
Yeah. So one. Yes. So I think what I feel is till here you have got a chance to work on or think on things. I think this is the area where you still need to put in a little more effort and come up with a little more clarity. You feel the same? I somehow feel that you did not get enough time to work on this part. Uh, do a little bit of more thinking on this part, and once you are a little more clear, we will be more clear on this.
Okay.
Jeet, if the check runs are just is just a pickless field, and it's a payment done, right? So it can come under the payment thing.
That is what I was, yeah, exactly. That is what I was trying to say. That do we need another object for this? So for that reason only, I'm asking that.
Yeah.
That do a little more thinking. We might not need so many extra objects, and we might be able to manage fields here and there on the objects thing. Like even if I have 2 bank accounts, I'm just thinking on those lines, do I need to have one separate custom object? We understand an object, right? Object is used for storing data, containers coming data. The bank accounts, if I have 2 or 3 bank accounts, do I need to have a separate object for tracking my bank accounts? At the max I will have 2 or 3 bank accounts. How many accounts can I have, right? It is bank account is not something which keeps on adding every day. I do not keep on adding a new bank account to my business every day, right? So that is again something bank account could have been if I have 3 accounts. So on the payment, bank account can also be a field pick list. That let's say I have a bank account for US vendors, and then I have one for Canada vendors. So there can be a pick list. Okay, and while at the payment we specify it very clearly that okay, this payment should be made from this bank account. That may resolve the issue. That is what I feel, if you agree to that part. The reason is lesser the objects, lesser confusion for the end users. They will be pretty happy, and we also have a restriction on the number of custom objects that we can use, right? So, thinking on those lines, I think you can think of reducing a few objects if that works for you. Okay, so let's do this. I think you have done very well. I'm pretty happy with the initial draft, and it was so simple to understand. Everybody was involved, and everyone was giving suggestions, and were able to understand. So concept is really good. So far the work which has been done is good. Let us just try and put a few maybe a couple of hours on this part, and you will have a wonderful idea, right?
Thank you.
I have a question, Jeet.
Yep.
So on this, I noticed what you did here is you created little tables within tables on this Excel spreadsheet. Is that how usually something like this is written up? Because this is pretty helpful. Is this something you do when you are going to create an application, or is this something that pretty much most developers would do when they were going to like brainstorm an app or something like that? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So this is how you do it. I use Excel spreadsheet. Someone else might use some other tool or software, or might design these tables on a MS Word, or maybe on a piece of paper, start writing. But a good way of development is this only. So the initial brainstorming, when you try to understand the process, this is how you actually get into things. So this is the best approach.
This is nice.
Yeah.
This is very nice because it's like a graphical, like you can see it, what you're going to be doing visually, and it helps. Like,
right.
Yeah, okay, cool, thank you.
And it will be more helpful. I think you were not there in yesterday's session. It will be more helpful if you put the data types here. Then most of the things will be very clear to you that okay, fine, what I have to do. And once this part is finalized, then designing application is a matter of a few minutes. How long you think it will take us now to create an object and these fields and that sort of things, right?
Then it's just busy work then. You just go and do whatever you need to do, right? Now, most of the work is here, right?
Right, most of the work is here, right.
Okay.
And this is the role of a functional consultant. Now this is what more of a functional consultant would do all these discussions. Now we are working on assumptions, right? Everything that we are working on now is on assumptions that okay, fine, this is how it should happen. But if you are working with a client, the client will give you a specific answer, whether he needs to track the phone number of vendor or not, and then you just put it there. That is how it is. All right. So thanks a lot, Sharon. Work a little more on this, and by tomorrow, I think we will have a more concrete solution to this. The next,
Right.
the next app that we are gonna pick up is of Cecily. Okay, Cecily, you feel that you want to work a little more on this since you have written this in your email.
Yeah, you read my mind, Chief.
All right.
Because I didn't have too much time. I wanted to do more detailed, and as you said, putting it up with the data type and all makes more sense.
Right.
So can I discuss it tomorrow then?
Absolutely, you can. And in fact, I read this on the email also that you said that you could not get much of time, and I am looking forward to your thing, because I can see 2 documents and you are trying to make it look very professional also in terms of writing the requirements.
I had to get into the mindset of thinking, okay, what the requirements would be. So
good thing.
yeah.
So we will discuss your scenario tomorrow. I will take up Navjot's scenario here.
Okay, thank you, Jeet.
Thanks. Navjot, here is your document. You would want to start explaining us about this. Okay, you have got directly into the data model. So before you talk about data model, can you just spend a couple of minutes on what app you tried to design?
Yeah, this is actually an app of Naptel International. I've given a company name. Even I've not given like much of time on the project, like just like 35 minutes, and like it's actually I've been to a company, and the company told me to design an application for them which covers their sales, like a little bit of HR, and what products they have, like inventory, and what all employees, the employees like structure of employees. This is the majorly I covered in all these applications.
Okay. So if you can spend a few minutes and write down whatever you spoke now, that will be very helpful. Not just for us, for you as well. So how does this writing thing help us? Because it helps us understand what we were trying to do.
I know.
Sometimes what happens, we started designing a recruiting app and we end up, designing a payroll app. So if we have written requirements,
I know.
that happens with the clients a lot, right? So if you have the written requirement, you will be able to understand that, okay, fine, this is what I was trying to do and this is where I am reaching, or I am reaching somewhere else only. So yeah, just spend a few minutes and write that thing. And now here is the data model thing. So you did not like the Excel spreadsheet approach?
No, I'm sorry for that. My office was not working fine. So I mean, there's a problem in the office, so I couldn't do it in Excel. That's the choose. I use Microsoft Word.
Okay.
I'm sorry for that.
No problem. So do you mind if I put it in Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So you can start talking about your data model. So what is the first object? Products.
Yeah, products. These are the telecom products. All the companies, they deal in, the first product is cell phones, and then GSM SIM cards. As in India, we used to have 2 categories in cell phone. One is GSM and CDMA. These are the SIM cards. They did data dongle, which gives you internet, and Wi-Fi dongle. These are the products company has. And the second part, let me just see. Then comes the second object, which is employees. The employees, the name, employee ID, email, and the city, the circle the employee belongs to, and the department is a sales, marketing, and date of joining and location. And then comes the customer. Customer comes in then comes the sales. The main thing is the database, and from the database we can pick the prospects according to the which product they're interested in. we can design a pick list and then appointment date, and then which salesman is following up with a like according to the salesman prospects, then the circle, city, and status. Like, is the lead, the prospect is still on the hot client, the cold, or like. Then I've covered the HR part also. That's a new joining, appraisal, promotion, increment. Then comes the IT, the creation of email ID. As I told you, I didn't spend much of time, so like.
So you actually thought of including everything in this app, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it would be good if we can, try and focus on one of these areas.
Okay.
See, ultimately, what would happen? Now, each of these things, like human resource, there cannot be an object for human resource. You will have to have multiple objects for human resource. Human resource is a complete department, right?
Seeing Sharan's like project, I came to know that I would be designing a completely sales project. Like, maybe I'll come up with tomorrow, like complete sales.
Spend time on one of those things, and then and if you have any confusions on what kind of a CRM would be there required for telecom industry, you can come up with a generic sales app also. For anything, I mean, you can think of that, or you can take a reference from App Exchange, go to that communication industry and try to find out a sales app for the communication industry, and if you find something for free, try to put it in your developer edition and see how that is working. All right.
Okay.
So you can definitely.
I would be spending more time today, and like we'll come up with a sales project, complete sales project, maybe tomorrow.
Right. So that would be better, because now we are.
I know.
Products and sales is absolutely fine.
But these are
these things I think we could have got into a little bit of more details, right?
Okay.
So that is it. So you said that you are into this, you were into telecom, and you were into sales.
I was in sales, corporate sales, yeah.
Okay, so I think that is one area where you must be very comfortable how the sales are done and all that stuff, right?
I know.
Okay, so that would be good in case you get into the complete sales app. That will be easier for you, and you will come up with a better thing. All right. So finance app and sales app we have thought of. How about others? Now Cecily is going to share something tomorrow. How about others?
This is Adnan. I'll have something by tomorrow.
Okay. Something as in you have any thought in mind, or you want to come up with a thought by tomorrow itself?
I was thinking of just like a basic computer sales app. I mean, selling minders, printers, scanners, and creating invoices, things like that. Does that work?
No.
No.
Doesn't work, no.
Okay.
Because
So what do you
sales
recommend?
app, I'll tell you why. Why I am very specific about you guys not picking the sales app or the CRM app, the general CRM app. Why I'm talking, asking you not to get into that part, because the sales app and especially the sales app and the marketing app, you might have seen that it is pretty much available in Salesforce, right? The moment you try to explain someone that I was last 6 months or 8 months I was into a project and my project was designing this app, all right? So you cannot say that I used to design a general sales app. I was designing general sales app. They will say that is available in Salesforce. Why did you design that again? Right? What was the need of that?
That makes sense.
So something like an HR app which is not there in Salesforce. The Salesforce is basically about CRM. Apart from CRM, why does a client need a custom app? They need a custom app if they want to design an app for something else which is not CRM, like finance, like HR, like appraisals, like performance management, like project management. There's so many things, right? So that way. So try and take something else. Still, if you plan to take a sales app, you can. But if you try to take an app for an industry or something, Manufacturing is one thing that I want someone to pick up. Anyone who is interested in taking up manufacturing?
When you say manufacturing, you mean like creating a new product and how many products you have in stock, things like that?
Yeah. So how a
Yeah,
manufacturing.
that might be a good
industry-
idea. Yeah, I think I might do that. That's a good. I was thinking either that or HR. So I think one of those two might be good. You have any more ideas? You give me ideas. That's good.
HR, I think Cecily is already working on that. If I think manufacturing is something which will include a lot of stuff, and there can be two
Okay,
people also
I'll
who
do
can
that.
take manufacturing thing,
I'll do that. I'll do manufacturing.
right?
Uh,
Yeah.
I was to change mine, and I was wondering if I could do nonprofit.
You can. That is Paulina.
Yes.
Yeah, you can non-profit. Yeah, I mean, I am not. Yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
Are you Salesforce?
Okay, I was just saying that I am not, very much in favor of the regular sales app, the regular one. If you're talking about a special kind of sales process, that's fine. Apart from that, you pick anything, whichever you are comfortable with, right? A
So
consult.
nonprofit is okay with you or not?
That's okay.
Okay.
So in non-profit, what
Organization.
non-profit organization, how they manage their donations and all that, or what exactly?
Yes.
All right, that also makes a lot of sense.
Jeet, I thought Salesforce already had. I thought Salesforce already had something for the non-profit organizations, right?
On the app exchange.
Yeah.
See, okay, let's understand this. It can have things on app exchange, like your HR app is also there on app exchange. We can design an app which is there on app exchange. Why? I will tell you. Okay, let me just quickly give you a little understanding of how the Salesforce thing works. You approach Salesforce, okay? Salesforce primarily has CRM. So the CRM app that you see on the Salesforce, the sales and marketing app, these are the apps which have been designed by Salesforce.com themselves. All right. In addition to this, there is App Exchange, right? Where you can buy apps, additional apps. The CRM app comes with your license. Okay, this comes with your license. App Exchange, you have additional apps available, you can purchase them. Now these App Exchange apps are not designed by Salesforce.com, they have been designed by the partners. Okay, so if you look into any of the app on App Exchange, you will see that you will find which is the company which has developed that app. So these are all Salesforce app designing partners. Okay, so
it's like an iTunes. It's like an iTunes app, iTunes Exchange, iTunes app
yeah,
store. Is that what it is?
App store, right?
Okay,
Exactly.
got it. Okay.
So something like that. So none of those app is from Salesforce.com, right? So when you try to take that app, let's say I run this business ABC Limited. Try and understand this thing very well. This will make things easier for you. I have started ABC Limited. I want to maintain my CRM. Sorry. I want to have my CRM. For CRM, I approached Salesforce.com and they gave me the CRM thing along with the license. I have been managing my CRM on Salesforce and I'm pretty happy. Now I feel that my HR thing should also be managed on Salesforce. Okay. Now because HR app is not there by default provided by Salesforce, then I have two options. Either buy an HR app from App Exchange. So buying means, again, these App Exchange apps you might have seen, they have a per month pricing. So you will need to pay per user per month, that ways, right? The other option you have is hire a developer and build the app. All right. So let's say it costs you let's say you have 20 people and $50 per user, this App Exchange app is costing you. So you have 20 people in the HR team, and your app costs you $50 per user per month. Now how much you would pay per month? You will end up paying $1,000 per month for getting this app, right? Then you do a cost calculation that how much would it cost you to develop an app. Let's say the total cost that is involved in developing the app is $10,000. Now you start thinking that, okay, fine, if I get it developed on my own, I can avoid this $1,000 per month and my cost will be recovered in 1 year or 10 months, right? So that is the kind of calculation that you would do, and then you would decide whether you want to go with this or this. Now this will be your own property. This will be your customized solution. You will have everything in place the way you want. Whatever you do with this is, a ready-made thing. So we understand, the difference between a customized thing and a ready-made one. So that is the thing. So either
I have
you
a question.
buy. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll ask you when you're done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so either you buy this app from the App Exchange or you hire a developer to build the app, right? So when you go for the interview, the best part is if you can talk about this area, that for this client they needed this app and I helped them build the app. So like Sharon came up with this financial, accounts payable app. There can be accounts payable app on App Exchange available, but why would a client want to design it on their own? Because they need to save some money and they want to have the app exactly the way they want, the customized one. Got this thing? So this is how Salesforce works. Clear on this part? Yeah. Adnan, you had a question.
Yes.
So Jeet, when they say Salesforce for non-profit organizations, that does not mean that it's on Salesforce platform. I mean, it's an App Exchange thing.
Salesforce for non-profits. Okay, there are two things. When the Salesforce.com says that Salesforce for non-profits, that is their, they allow some discounts on the licenses that they sell to non-profit. That is a different story. That has got nothing to do with the app. If you are running a non-profit, you approach Salesforce.com to buy licenses, they will give you certain discount on that. Instead of charging you a usual $100, they might charge you $60. So that is what they refer to when they said Salesforce for non-profit. Okay.
Okay.
So that is one thing. Then there are some apps on the App Exchange for non-profit organizations, for those organizations to manage their business or whatever non-profit thing. Got it? That is a different thing, and this is a different thing. Got it? So what you see on their website and all that Salesforce for non-profit, that basically refers to a discount that they give to the non-profit organization. That is different story. That has got nothing to do with the app. That is on the licensing fee they give some discount. Got that part?
Okay, Jeet. Thanks.
Yeah. Adnan, you were saying something.
So, yes, so I have a question. So the App Exchange, I didn't realize that those apps you can't buy them. I didn't know they were something you like pay for on a monthly basis. So thinking that as a developer, now I'm trying to be sneaky. So couldn't I just subscribe to that app? Because the apps are all, I mean, they're not compiled. I can see what the app looks like and make my own easily by looking at that app, can't I?
No, these apps, are you aware of, a package? What is a package?
Oh, it comes packaged, so it is compiled in a way. Okay.
Right.
So they're packages. So I wouldn't be able to look inside. Okay. See, I thought they'd be more unpackaged, so you just get them and put them in, and you could take a look at what tables are in there and create your own tables.
You can.
So
the only thing that you can, if you take an app from the App Exchange, buy the app. The only thing that you would be able to see is the objects. Objects, what all tables they have used, you will definitely get to see. The fields you will get to see. But if they have written any programming or coding, that will not be visible to you. So that is what the Salesforce.
Okay, so coding and logistics, yeah.
Yeah. So
and that's where most of the work is. So yeah.
Right. So they do not give you that part.
Yeah. Okay, that sucks. Try to make my job easier later, but I guess that's not going to work.
Right. So they don't give you the coding and all that stuff, and objects you can see, but you can see objects of any app. I don't know how many of them can actually develop their own apps looking into that. Like all these mobile apps that we get to see, everyone can see those apps, but how many people are actually able to design something as popular? And then it is a matter of the way they market and all that stuff. So yeah, that's a good thought though, but not very helpful. Doesn't work very easily. Good thought actually.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So then let's do this. Let's go back and work on our own ideas, come up with the data models, and people who have not come up with anything today, please spend some time. Parthesh, I was looking for that restaurant manager app, so try to work on that part, and we'll discuss things more concepts tomorrow, right?
Okay, Jeet, I have a quick question.
Yeah,
before we go.
Yeah.
You said that you're saying the recordings in the GoToMeeting are recorded in something different. Did you use the GoToMeeting recorder? Because that comes to a separate app you can use to watch those videos.
Right. This gets saved in a G2M format, .g2m extension. Okay. There is a way of what is that called? Encoding these videos. So this video needs to be encoded before you can watch it on a normal, viewer or something. So that is something which I'm gonna get done, and I'm gonna upload it. Fine.
No problem. Great. Thank you for your help.
Here to today's meeting, Ben.